We hear okay online? Is that coming through?
Yes.
Amy, Eric?
I hear everything. We're good.
Great. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, everybody. All right, let's call this meeting to order. It's November 14th, 2025. Maggie, thanks for the pizza. Sorry, can't have any online. Karen, you just gotta so. Okay, let's.
Oh, come on, no delivery.
Welcome. Public comments may include suggestions and objective criticisms of operations or programs, but the board will not hear complaints concerning individual personnel. The board will hear comments, but will not engage in discourse with the public in this meeting. If you would like to share public comment at one of our meetings, please join us in person in the school library, or you can email your request to office@muddycreekcharterschool.org by 12 p.m. the day before the meeting, so we can share a link to the Google meeting. Any
I have a quick
public comments? Yeah.
Before we get to the public comments, there was a request that we introduce ourselves, just so everybody knows
Yes.
who we are. So I'll start. I'm Alex Goldner, one of the board members.
Why don't we? I was going to have us say a little about what's going on with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm Alex Goldner. I'm one of the board members. I have two kids at Muddy Creek, one in third, one in fifth. Do you want me to talk about my profession?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm a PA over at Oregon State University, work in student health. I'm also working on a doctorate of medical science right now. I'm very interested in seeing Muddy Creek follow through on its mission, being an incredible school. Both my kids had an amazing time here, starting in kindergarten. So very invested in the community, friends with a lot of the parents, a lot of the staff. It just feels like such a cohesive community, and I love it, and I want to see it thrive.
Jackie?
I'm Jackie Crumry. I am the board vice president, which is the best office to have because it comes with zero responsibility.
Thank you for the pizza.
I am an orthopedic surgeon at the hospital. My son went here first through fifth grade. He is now a seventh grader at Franklin. I joined the board shortly after COVID.
My name is Buster Ayler. I've been on the board since, for 7 years now, almost 7 years. My kid went kindergarten through fifth grade here. He's now at Franklin. Coach track at Corvallis High School, trying to run a jewelry company, and volunteer a lot with 4-H and something else, I'm sure. But I'm on the Montessori Philomath board as well as treasurer.
I'm Karen Steele. I'm a retired educator. I was at Sutherland and the library system. My two sons went through Annandale here, and I've been on the board for 10 years.
My name is Patrick Merklow. I am the board secretary. I am a realtor here in town, and I have been on the board now for close to 3 years.
Great.
I've currently have two kids, a second and a third grader who attend Muddy Creek, and it is just a phenomenal community that I just want to go and continue to see thrive.
I'm Sarah Danforth, Executive Director and Principal at Muddy Creek, and I'm sort of the leader of the three-ring circus.
Is there any way to get Derek and Jamie?
Sure. I am Derek Jordan. I am my first year on the board. I am my one child in first grade at Muddy Creek. I am the executive director of the Presbyterian Preschool in Corvallis.
Jamie?
Oh, maybe still muted, Jamie.
You're on mute.
Still muted. Sorry about that.
Can you hear me now?
Jamie, can you hear me now? Hi, I'm Jamie Hahn. I have been a board member since fall of 2019. I have had 4 children go through Muddy Creek. My last one is at Muddy Creek. Yay! 4th grade. We've been at Muddy Creek since 2013 with my oldest starting 2nd grade. I became a board member because I'm very wanting to advocate for DEI and making sure all of our differently able children are supported within our school. I am an OT clinician. I work at Old Mill Center, nonprofits, and I'm also back in school working on my doctorate degree.
Thank you.
I forgot to say I'm the board treasurer.
Oh, Karen's board treasurer, yeah. Okay, any other public comments online or?
Just hiding in the back row.
Daddy? No? Okay.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you all for coming. Wonderful. All right, well, let's move on. Approval of minutes. I think we got October. Is that the only one?
Should be the only one.
Move to approve. I'll second that.
5.
For those of you who don't know how we vote, 5 means no problem, everybody agrees. 1 means we strongly disagree. And in between, 3 is passing, but I don't like it. Okay. Executive update, Principal Danforth.
All right. I'm some very aggressive flies in here today. Sorry. Okay, so because I know we have a lot of other things to talk about tonight, I will kind of limit my comments, but if you have a question, please ask. We are, and remember that the metrics are for the month of October. And in the month of October, we had an enrollment of 108, which gives us still 22 opportunity seats, which we are working on, but have not made great progress. We had a couple on the line, but they didn't bite, as they say. And then our attendance numbers have been way up. The letters went out. And a quick reminder to all who have not been able to make it in, I will say on the parents' behalf that there was like 3 swaths of illness that went through the school. So a lot of these are excused medical, but we do want to continue that conversation with community about the importance of being at school. Our metrics are the same as last month, upcoming dates. We had a little increase in our fundraising, but what is not reflected on the dashboard are 2 grants that staff acquired. One, Ms. Novak got an $800 grant to sponsor an assembly and Read Across America Week in March, and a few other sundries. And then Bree Hirschberg, our Dean of Students, also did a Donors Choose campaign and crowdfunded, I think it was like between $1,200 and $1,500 for raised garden beds that we're going to have the kids build and plan their location and plant and hopefully turn into a sensory garden that's a little closer to the building where kids can have a space to reset and recharge and help out. So then last month you've seen the list, but nothing really shocking. It was great. Oh, I think I might have spelled Salem wrong. It's not Shalom. It's really meant to be Salem. But it was really great to see. I think every single class got out at least once in the month of October on a field trip to come see our local growers or professionals. The updated budget was sent to CSD. You guys participated in that. Parent-teacher conferences went, I think, pretty well. We were able to execute the 12-12-0 model, and I haven't yet had a chance to ask staff if they prefer it or the 8-8-8 model.
When you say 12-12-12, that or 12-12-0, that's 2 12-hour days and then a rest day.
Yeah. And the idea of having the 12-12-0 model is we have a lot of working parents, and those nighttime spots are hard to come by. So if you have Wednesday at school and then an hour or few after, and then the whole day of Thursday, and then that is equivalent to 3 8-hour days. So then you would want to take the Friday. They are very long days and exhausting. So you cannot do 2 12s and then also work next day.
How long do they have with the teachers to? How long are the
How long the conferences?
Yeah.
I believe they scheduled 20-minute blocks. Check me if I'm wrong. Okay. And then, but some ran over to 30. And there were some families that like we do a double book just because there's lots to talk about. And then this month, which is already done in my head because fall break is coming up and I'm just like in my mind, November's already done, but it looks like I have more to do. The teachers are going to be setting their student learning goals and, or I should say PGG, and professional growth goals. Many have started that process and some have some more work to do. I'm hoping to get them locked in by the end of the month, which is a full, I don't know, like month and a half sooner than I did last year. It's really way behind last year. And they're all based on my goals, which you guys, I think, remember. Not all, most. We did hire a long-term first grade sub for Miss Lindy. She's got her little Lindy on the way any minute. And so we, I think her last scheduled day here is Tuesday, but we're all hoping that she has a baby over the weekend because she's so excited. And the name of our long-term sub is Shahaley Borrell. And she was one of our regular subs and we just snatched her right up. We're still gonna looking for the 5th grade. We got a few applicants that we haven't done any interviews. We thought we had a 5th grade candidate that they pulled out. Any other, we're going to talk about the grant application later because I need your actual approval for it. Maybe I didn't put it on the agenda.
I think you
I
did.
didn't get it. Okay.
I'm not familiar with that PACS.
PACS is a classroom management and behavior management methodology.
Is it different than?
It would be the equivalent of Love and Logic, how you'd use it. And its approach is trauma-informed and research-based. It is, in my opinion, very effective. I used it, and many of my peers used it as well. And what's interesting about it is it is more fun. It's like gamifying. It's all positive reinforcement, and the kids are working toward playing a good behavior game. And they get to celebrate by doing silly things in the classroom.
So are all teachers getting trained or just new teachers?
I have been not doing it school-wide. It would be nice if we could, but with the cost savings right now, I'm limiting it to the teachers who have particularly challenging classes that like traditional techniques haven't been working.
Okay.
Any questions about what's going on? All pretty normal-ish. There's some pictures of the kids being happy and on their field trips. Oh, I forgot to include OBOB. There's a little win there. There was a fear, a concern that we weren't going to be able to have OBOB this year with the reduction in the librarian's hours. So Ms. Patrizia and I talked about transitioning it away from her responsibilities and going to more of a parent volunteer model, which is the model that's utilized in most of Oregon. It's a wonderful luxury to have a librarian actually running it, but most, I will say most, because I did a little research on it, school districts have parents doing it, if they're doing it at all. And she reached out to our parent community and said all of that, and who wants to help? And there was radio silence for like 2 weeks. And then we were like, oh, it's not boding well. But then she sent the reminder. They were like, oh, no, we just forgot to reply or whatever. So we have an army of parent volunteers who are doing OBOB. Okay. And it's wonderful. I'd love to hear them kind of chatting in the hallway on their way out or their way in. It's
how many teams?
Don't.
I think there's about 6 teams. There's 3 3rd grade teams, 2 4th grade teams, and probably a 5th grade team. Three.
Oh,
Three
yeah. 5th grade?
Awesome. Yeah, there's like
That's
3
a
in each
lot.
class. The last thing I read, there's a lot, but there's many. There's like one person that has.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay. And that's it for my ED update. That's not it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
How about Gaga Ball? Is that happening? Is that winter?
Oh yeah, tournament, December 10th.
And do you need ringers or are you?
Mine.
Okay, everyone's
We
on
might.
standby.
I was
He's
just
got
talking
his
to
shirt.
Mr. Day about that today because we've got to get some shirts ordered. But for anybody who's not aware, there's the 3rd annual Gaga Ball tournament at Ashbrook, hosted by Ashbrook.
Okay, I'm back.
And they've invited similarly sized schools. I'm gonna. There we go. And so last year, I think we competed. It was us, Kings Valley Charter. Maybe it was Santiam. No, it wasn't Santiam Christian. It was
Zion.
Zion.
They were good,
And they
too.
were working on Franklin too. So yeah, they were. I think they between Ashbrook and Zion, they were the winners, I think. But anyway, we've got that'll be December 10th, and people are invited.
How is the team
6th, you
decided?
think? Is it on the calendar? Okay. Then it's the 6th, Saturday.
How is the team decided? Is there like a playoff here, or anyone who wants to participate can, or how do you do it?
The brackets are 5, 6, 7, 8, because most of the other competitors are K-8 schools.
Okay.
And so in the past, we've been able, well, our first year, we were able to get a pretty decent 5th grade only team.
Mhm.
Last year, we were a couple kids short, so we actually invited some of our former Muskrats from 6th grade to join us. That's what Lester's asking about.
Mhm.
And then this year, we're just trying to get the roster settled. The kids are excited, but we haven't received like affirmative parent response yet from enough. So if we
haven't heard about it yet.
I sent it out 3 times. Dojo.
Okay. All right, sir.
Just a reminder that the comments from the audience are supposed to be limited to public. Okay, and then yeah, so everybody's invited. We'll have it on Dojo. We just signed up to do it, and yeah, hopefully we'll get a lot of helpers.
Okay. Karen, you got any good news for us?
So that, I went through really with a very fine-tuned comb, and some of this you're probably going to. I'm just giving you the facts. There's no judgment in any of this. But we are over in several categories in terms of our budget. A couple, and that I haven't asked this question to Tanya, is we didn't budget anything, but we're spending out of that. And I don't understand. So I'm not the one that when something comes in like on a divvy card or spent, decide where it goes. And so I don't know if there's mistakes in that or so most teachers do a very good job on their divvy explaining exactly what they're buying. There's a few that just say projects, and I think those need to be more detailed so we can kind of track in terms of where it's going. And teachers do understand they have less money this year, and once they spend their max of $250, we're not going to be able to give more, and so they do need to track it carefully. So we're over on textbooks, we're over on software, we're over, and I don't even know what it is, extra CC transportation. And then there's after school consumable supplies.
And that is not, was something credited to that?
$1,600.
Oh, that's a mistake, because we don't have the after-school program.
No, it says we didn't budget anything. Yeah. Field trips, and you've told me before that sometimes you get reimbursed, but we're over right now, $2,600. Student safety, board training.
The board training is interesting because it hit this year, but it was for last year's training.
Is the counselor being paid as a school administrator?
No, but we did talk about which line, like which category would make the most sense for dean and council would make more sense when it would be in the teacher bucket or in the admin bucket. So I think we talked about shifting that, but I think it's cross wires. So
Because right now, there's no budget on the school admin license, but there's lots of money coming out of that.
yeah, I think I have brought that up so we can double check.
Health room supplies is over. Health room. Other property services custodian, they're over 2,200. And non-consumable, also custodian, technology, and the lunch program. And the thing that I don't understand is we're spending $181 in a month for lunch, for the school to supply lunch or snacks or whatever.
Is it separate from the milk though? Because milk's reimbursed.
It comes
Milk's always been its own line item.
I thought so.
to lunch program there's no money in there, but we've spent $600. In terms of supplies, we still have 223.
Yeah.
So it just seems like an awful lot of money for snacks.
Yeah.
And that we don't have a budget enough for, if we're spending $200 a month.
I know. And I feel that as well. The concern is that a lot of our whoops, if we're left in the car, it's a risk that we take on not having any kind of school lunch program. So in past years, parents have donated more, and we haven't had as high a need.
We haven't what?
We haven't had as high a need, but we do have a handful of kids that just don't have.
It's $36,000 on areas that we're over. If you do line item by line items.
Yeah.
We aren't over on the total budget. It won't take much. There's only 40,000 that we're over 40,000, then we're in the hole.
I suspect some of those are in the wrong place, so I wonder if we should meet with Sonia and just kind of go through them.
I asked her once if she could be moving and she
budget, but if she's allocated to the wrong GL, then we can have her correct it.
correct. So I'm going to give you this.
Yeah.
And
because I moved about the count.
every year. Because I don't know where we're budgeting that, but that's $442.
Facilities with the well, I think is where it's usually gone.
Yeah. The testing is very robust and
list of those and maintenance. We only have, we budgeted 15 and we have $4,000 coming out of that for the trees. And so you subtract that and we're down to less than $8,000, anything for them to do. And Insight Pest,
yeah.
is that,
So we have since been using them.
is it a monthly thing?
Yeah.
They're going to charge this month.
I think they
It was $300, $289.
Yeah, monthly.
Monthly?
We've been paying it for almost a year.
Oh, I
seems
guess I
high.
haven't picked that up on, because it's on his,
It's a large facility, so if you're comparing your home costs, we have, I think it's like 20 plus vape boxes, and they come out once a month. They also do selective spray. And even still, there's a mouse in the staff room right now.
Last year was a mouse and rat year.
This is really advocating for a school cat. I know, it's like, I would love it, but I don't know if it's allowed. But
so those things, I think, when we do budget next year, we need to kind of spell those out a little better, because that's gonna use up that whole thing, and that's not counting any others. Thing he wrote down was just projects, so I don't know what those projects.
it's like, well, they're all projects that we could try to work on getting.
Gonna have me worried because it's only November and that's a pretty big overage.
Can the PTO contribute to the food?
They can. Most of the money that they're raising just goes into the general fund and is used to serve the budget. So they already kind of
So it's no
are.
longer teacher comes in, I'd like to do this project. It's not, okay.
So that's what I have.
What's the percentage of the population that eats out of that cart every day?
I think because we have such a small population that if I tell you that percent, you're gonna know how many kids, and that might be a violation of that.
Okay. So
Are we seeing an uptick in that percentage compared to previous years?
Yes, and I think that is a factor of trying to have a more diverse school. So when you have a more diverse school, you have more diverse families, and they come with more challenges. And because that's something that we've prioritized, we will have to deal with some different things. You know, if our efforts work and we have suddenly a lot of bilingual learners, then we will have to change for that too, right? We'll have to start translating everything and making sure that our staff can support that. So when the students change, the requirements change.
And I don't know what kinds of snacks, but maybe it'd be worth somebody going with a Costco card, going and buying snacks there rather than going to Safeway or Fred Meyer and pick up $40 worth of snack. Is it fresh fruit or?
Sometimes. It's more often shelf stable, like mac and cheese and top ramen or whatever.
Is there any possibility of working with the district on like bagged lunches? Because I know, when I went through the school district, there were opportunities for that. In the summers, they provide bagged lunches or on field trips. Is there some way we could work with them?
No, because we are not certified by the USDA for the food service program. The only thing that we qualify is the milk program.
Even if it came pre-bagged or something?
Yeah, we don't qualify for the USDA. So no, because then that only applies for their student population, and because we are not in the district, we cannot qualify to tack onto that.
Got it.
And it hasn't really been pursued because our facilities do not really support.
Right. The staff. I understand.
It's something that a lot of us would really love to change. And we keep looking into it, and sometimes the guidelines are changing, but again, we still don't have like enough bandwidth as a staff to really even investigate it fully.
Nor the money to bring in more staff.
Yeah. Anybody wants to
I've been giving,
volunteer?
I've
I'd be
actually
happy to
been
hear
giving
about
the food issue here a bit of thought the last couple of months. I'm not ready to say anything, but I got a few things. Most of them are related ideas. She ran the Lane County food bank / cooking part for, so.
And that gave me a thought. So the other thing that we did last year as well is that we partnered with the I don't remember if it was Food Share or the other one.
It's with the Lane County and Spence County food.
I'm blanking, but and we did food bags on Friday. So like, here's a bag of food for the weekend so that you guys can eat. And we haven't started that up again this year, but it's on our radar.
Okay. Anything else, Karen? Is that
That's it.
that's all we can handle? All right. Sorry.
Hello again. I am attempting to apply for the Oregon Department of Education Garden Grant. It is a total of $15,000, which exceeds my renegade $5,000 amount. So I need to ask your permission if I can do it.
So what does it,
What's it for?
what does it entail?
The goal of their grant is to educate kids on nutrition, on life cycle, and just food sourcing. So, and like local producers as well. They're the same organization that reimburses school lunches when you do qualify for the USDA program. So their grant is the mini grants are between $2,000 and $15,000. The maxi grants are up to $150,000. We don't qualify for the $150,000 ones, which I found out when I applied for $150,000.
No.
Because we don't have enough diversity in our socioeconomic status in our population. So, but they're giving the $15,000 away like candy, according to others that I know at ODE. So what I would like to do with it is to work on what, to help extend what Bree has in mind for the beds. She and I were kind of thinking the same thing at the same time, and I didn't realize that her Donors Choose was going to be kind of asking for the same thing that I'm interested in doing. So we're officially collaborating. But I want to create outdoor learning space. I want to create food forest in the old garden space. I want to have some more tables and some more supplies for the kids to be able to really plant the veggies, grow the veggies, or even, you know, in a real sensory garden, when it works really well, you have plants that they can taste, that they can smell, that they can touch, the different textures, right? That they can hear, so like grasses or chimes, and did I say taste already? The other one. And so then you can go out and you can be mindful and you can reset and you can experience. And because it kind of looks like Shawshank prison yard out there right now, I would like to also just include some general beautification. So that's what I'm hoping to do with it. I can do a lot with that much money.
And if you apply for 15, do they say we won't give you 15, but we'll give you 3?
They could, yeah.
It's for material, for wage, what?
All. The only thing that it is not for is capital improvement. So I cannot fix a bill. If there is something that is anchored to the earth, it does not qualify. But we were talking about maybe getting the awning or the roof on top of the old green wall posts. And I asked specifically, is that something that would be okay? And they said yes, because it could be removed.
So you can't use it to use it like, you can't improve fixtures of the property. Can you use it to add a fixture to a property, such as like putting posts in with cement?
No.
Okay. So everything has to
But
be
I can
removable.
stake something in.
You can
But I
build a
can't.
planter box.
I can build
Yeah.
And the other nice thing about this grant is a lot of them don't have this feature, but you can we can use 25% of it to pay calorie.
Oh, really?
Oh,
That's very unusual.
that is good.
It can pay for field trips. It can pay for dirt. It can pay for tools and gloves and guest speakers and whatever.
Food.
So, yeah, and then
Food for children.
one of the things that they really want is that highly encouraged, it's not required, is to have organized tastings. And when I did this grant at Jefferson, that's what we do. We grew a bunch of tomatoes, and then all the kids could eat a tomato, and they got all stickers like I just tried a tomato, and then we had kale, or we had, you know, whatever it was, corn on the cob. And
I'm not Uncrustables.
then I didn't know they don't grow Uncrustables. No, you'll love this. We have the chickens this year, and each class has taken turns to collect the eggs and feed the chickens and check in on them and whatever. Our little handy capable rooster who's so gorgeous. And they started to accumulate. I can't sell the eggs I mean, I keep telling people the eggs are what's supposed to fund our chicken program. The chickens need more food. Buy the eggs. Me and my mother have bought almost all of the eggs. And then, like, because there were 4 dozen or something, I just took a few dozen home and I boiled them. And we went into 4th grade. This is their month. And so we all kind of looked at the eggs and we peeled the eggs, and not everybody ate the eggs. But then some of us didn't like the yolks, and we didn't like the whites that got stuck to the shell or whatever. So we went out to the chickens and they gave them a treat, they'll eat their own eggs.
They will?
They're cannibalistic.
Yeah, they love them.
They love them. So I was like, but they'd never had it before, so they were like, this crazy voodoo. So yeah, so I mean, it's those little moments that I want to capitalize on and embellish. We want to have more of those moments. I keep having this picture in my mind of this little school farm.
Yeah.
Not farm school. That's different.
Totally different.
Some days, I don't know. So what do you guys think? Can somebody make a motion to approve me applying?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
5.
5.
Like,
5.
Jamie, your 5s. All right.
So do you know when the money's released?
They had to postpone it because they're using a different website to administer the grant, and it was supposed to be due today. And then, but nobody could figure out how to use the website, and ODE was like, nah, and all the farmers and garden people were like, I don't know how to technology or what, I don't know what happened. But anyway, they postponed until the 8th. Their goal is to release by January, but you have to spend, I think they changed it to biennium. It used to be that they release it in January and then you have to spend it by June, which is actually kind of hard. But I think it has a 2-year cycle now.
Is the grant that Bree went for, was that the Friends of Ed County, or was that different?
No, that was Donors Choose.
Okay, did somebody apply for the Friends of Ed County one too? Because that could be tied on it too.
Feel like it's on my, did it already close?
No, it's always open, and
Okay.
and they do once, but then I get it, and then my mom says apply again when you need something else, because they got money in it.
Yeah.
$500, but
There's quite a bit of parent
I can-
interest in helping rate grants, so I've started a spreadsheet.
do that one quickly.
You got an in?
Yeah.
You know somebody?
I almost did it, but then Bree said she was on it, so I thought, okay, she.
But we could use some fruit trees, and it's probably not for that, but we could also use some full-grown shade trees.
I've got 5
Yes.
apple trees and some other trees I can bring out. The apple trees are $30.
We'll talk.
Cool. All right. Alex,
all right.
let's talk about, well, maybe Patrick, you listened to the whole thing. You want to give everybody a very, very quick Cliff Note summary?
I'll try to make it
You do have
quicker
access to
than
the
the meeting was last night.
Thank you.
So after 6 hours of a CSD board meeting, they voted to, CSD officially voted to move all elementary schools in Corvallis to K6. They're making Mountain View K8, and they are closing Sheldon and Letitia Carson. There was even talk about possibly exploring making Franklin a geographic school, and
I heard there was a
taking away the
lot
school
of
choice.
hate for Franklin at the meeting.
There was a lot of
Yeah.
there was a lot of shade thrown towards Franklin.
Yeah.
Everyone's
And
when they started it.
and it did sound like some of the board, one of the board members who initially abstained from that vote, said that they would go ahead and support closing those other two if they were able to go and start looking at Franklin's long-term future. So Franklin may no longer be a school of choice after too much longer. That being said, I don't think that's going
That
to be taking
wasn't
place next year.
decided.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was not decided, will not be taking place next year. But obviously, Letitia Carson and Sheldon is going to be taking place next year. So, Cliff Notes, there we go.
If there's any Letitia Carson kids out there who want to give Muddy Creek a try,
Yeah. Those are-
that'd be-
What are happening to the buildings?
So
Sheldon
I
will
hope
keep
Sheldon's
the gym open.
gym was going to become an indoor pole vault training Center.
It will
Is it
be
seriously?
available
I wanna
to
check
the
it out.
public.
Just a rumor going around.
Well,
Sorry.
That's, they
So
have an
they-
elevator now for
Nice
the upper
try,
gym.
Lester.
Yeah.
Nice try.
so Jamie, they did indicate that they called out Sheldon specifically that it will continue the sports facilities will continue to go ahead and be available for the community to go and use the sports facilities in Sheldon. I would imagine, and they also indicated specifically that Wildcat Park will still be accessible for the community. And I would imagine they didn't specifically say what they were going to be doing with the rest of the facilities. But if prior school closures in Corvallis are any indication, they'll get repurposed in one form or another.
Okay, so they have no idea what they're.
Like Fair Play, they sold to Montessori,
They turned Innovale into some sort of weird.
and Peoria, I think ESD.
Kid Farm Factory.
But
Yeah,
out both of those, it took a few years.
And Dixie, they mentioned that they closed that and turned it into the.
somebody over there probably has a plan or intention, but they didn't announce it last night.
Okay. Was it heated last night? Like, how was the room?
It was heated. They apparently they did need they had to go and ask some people to leave.
Oh wow.
I mean, they didn't actually vote and approve that until 12:45 last night.
Wow.
They had 3 hours of public comment.
3 hours of public comment.
That
And they've already had how many?
Because did you guys
Yeah.
watch Monday's meeting as well? 'Cause they had 3.5 hours on Monday too.
I did not. But they tangent, but they didn't announce the plan to go and close Letitia Carson until the 22nd of October.
Yeah.
So it's 2 weeks, 3
Yeah.
weeks.
So were the police called?
That's what I heard.
That's what the
I
paper
cannot
says.
confirm that. I was watching.
I also heard the police were called.
No?
What the paper says.
I've heard several people tell me that, but I don't know.
The board did have to go ahead and remind people that like they weren't able to go ahead and comment, and
they had
like
to be
to keep things
respectful.
respectful. It was
Did they ever tell people, because I'm just assuming what went on, that you can't just say what the person 3 people ago said?
no, they kept it fairly. They had a variety of arguments that
And
I was.
perspectives.
Yeah. But so that is ultimately that is their plan.
That's rough if your school's getting shut down.
So what I learned from Monday's meeting was that there were like the 3 alternatives, right? But each alternative had a money savings and a person savings. So the first one is like the status quo, and we just kind of keep our schools the way they are, but we have to reduce staff by like 30 people. And then the middle was the one they went with, which was to do the K6 Sheldon closure, Letitia Carson closure. And then they still have to reduce because they have a $4 million shortfall that only solves $3 million. So they will still have to reduce.
So have anybody talked about what the other million's going to come from?
Staff reduction,
There's
but
gonna
they haven't said what or who.
So they'll have,
I mean, they'll have
40
some
kids in the
administrator reduction, right? You have a principal and an assistant principal and a counselor or whatever that you don't need to have. Lunch ladies and custodians you don't need to duplicate. But they have not released that.
So I did, in preparation for this, I did draft a motion. I'm just going to throw it out there so then we can go and chat about it. I move.
Wait, can you hold on your motion? Let me do my report first, right?
I'm first.
Are you?
Parent feedback is next on the agenda.
Okay.
Boys,
If you
boys.
Feedback.
if you like,
It says Alex next to parent feedback though.
so your motion will be well prepositioned by this report. So thank you for the Corvallis School District report. That's obviously going to impact this school greatly because if we don't have a 6th grade here and elementary schools and CSD have a 6th grade, there's a big discrepancy there. And I think a lot of us, we were already talking about this last meeting. And so in preparation for this discussion, we sent out a parent survey to the whole school. So we're hoping to get as many responses as we could from that. And we got 29 responses, which I thought was pretty good. I didn't send out a reminder email, which I should have done. Now I've learned the power of the reminder.
You can
Did
still
you-
do it. And
Yeah.
Get more.
Did you send it to all parents or just like fifth grade parents?
Sarah,
Okay.
yeah, Sarah sent it out to everybody. The third grade was the most well proportioned there, but we had respondents from parents from every age, every grade, and the overall take home here is that 90% of parents, if we were to add, the question is, if Corval School District was to add a 6th grade to the elementary schools, should we explore the option of adding 6th grade? 90% of the parents that responded, oh, you have it there up on the board, are in favor of this. And I think this makes sense. I'm also a parent. And the idea that, you know, I don't know what I would do with my kid if we didn't have a 6th grade and the rest of the Corval School District did, because my kids are in the Corval School District. So another big question, and again, this is all exploratory right now. We're not making any proposals. We're just reporting back on ideas and options and kind of getting a temperature of what folks are feeling. But the idea of a blended classroom is something that's come up a few times when we've talked about this. So we did include that on the questionnaire. And so you can see the breakdown there. It's some people don't have an opinion. About 20% wouldn't like that option. 62% say maybe that would be an option. This is something we can think about. Obviously,
We don't have a breakdown of what grade parents those are. I'm just curious, you know, where
you could technically pull that out. I can't do it on the fly, but we could. We could also, I mean, we could
that
do
just
this
might
again.
be an interesting,
Dive into it.
yeah, piece to look at.
Yes, agreed. The next question got a little bit muddy as far as where folks were planning on sending their kid for 6th grade, because it was a free text, so that didn't work out great. But basically, a lot of folks have a lot of plans, and there's a lot of overlap in there. People found many different ways of writing Franklin or Philomath or some version of that. So I didn't get a whole lot from that question.
What was the actual
Somebody
question?
said we may have to move. I saw that just
Where
a
would you,
few.
where would you send, if,
Yeah.
where would you send your kid for 6th grade?
Yeah, where are you currently planning on sending your kid for 6th grade? So folks have a lot of, I mean, when you look through the data, there are a lot
It's
of
a lot of Philomath.
Philomath and a lot of
It is
Corvallis.
Philomath accepting Corvallis people?
A lot of people live in Philomath that go here,
Oh, that's right.
but yes, sometimes so a limited.
I thought it was pretty close.
It's very limited right now. I live in Philomath, so
I think at the
it's big
moment,
here too.
close to out of district transfers, yeah.
But I think they open up some spaces in the summer, and if you get, it's like it's not as competitive as Franklin, but you know, people come and go.
It fills pretty quick, yeah.
They just have a cap.
So I think the next question is the one that really kind of perks my ears up. You know, if Corval School District, which they now have, adds a 6th grade and we didn't, would this impact your decision to have your child attend Muddy Creek? And that's what I would worry about, is if we didn't offer a 6th grade
That's
here
a big
and CSD was
hypothetical.
offering it, that could impact folks'
I agree with
willingness
that
to
100%.
send kids to our school.
That's another one. I'm curious what grade those responses come from.
Right, because if it's the young kids, yeah. If we don't get the kindergarten, then we don't move on.
In this question, I'm more curious for incoming families. If we didn't have a 6th grade, would that influence your decision to start in Muddy
Right,
Creek?
would you start, right?
Well,
Yeah.
that's why I'm curious what ages correlate with those answers.
It is still a bit hypothetical, but we wanted to include it just so that people could put, you know, imagine what would be true for them. Because obviously they're already here.
Home district, a preponderance of various ways of saying Corvallis, but also Monroe, Philomath, you know, I'll see. Yeah, there's a diversity
I'm
there.
not
So
even sure I love that answer.
Who knows?
yeah. But I mean, the thing to think about is how many of these kids would move into the 6th grade and how many would be moving somewhere else. And this is somehow a question we're going to have to answer with some durability, because this particular form, I don't think I got an answer to that question that's concrete. So we're going to have to figure out another way to ask it and another way to investigate it.
Next year, could we do like multiple option? Like we plug in a bulk of them, and so that way you're not typing, but you're just selecting one of those options.
Yes.
Also, I have that data already.
Yep.
So I mean, so I can
So you can just figure it out. Yeah.
for all of them.
So was there mention last night about bringing 6th grade into Lincoln and Garfield?
Yes, they're going to.
And
What if they
Adams.
don't want to, what if they haven't done Spanish? Because you can't go to Lincoln if you're not going to do the dual language.
So they have I think they said Catherine Jones Harrison for Garfield. I think that it was. If you're not able to go to Garfield for dual language, you go to Catherine Jones Harrison, and Lincoln.
It already dumps into Adams, but then Adams is
Okay.
busting at the seams. So the question is around what can you do to include more people? And so one of the, they were limiting, I think they're thinking, at least that was my interpretation, limiting their thinking to dual language students. The conversations that I've, in my own personal wonderings, were what if you opened it up to 2 tracks instead of
That's
just
how they
one?
started.
Because it's such a beautiful and huge facility, and all the kids in Southtown, so many of them are having these long bus rides to Adams, and even Adams, I've heard anecdotally, is like sending people to other schools in the district. There's no room in Adams.
Because when they started it was both tracks. And then once they got it through, it's like, no, you can't even come and you're not going to go into Spanish.
I know they want to do the program with Fidelity, but it'd be
So
curious.
it really only affect next year. Because then the income, the 5th graders are already Spanish speaking.
They even talked about expanding it to K8 at Lincoln.
K8,
It was a K8 building at Lincoln.
when they built it.
It's built for K8.
So why didn't they utilize that?
It was funny. I've been thinking about that since the beginning, and when the question came up, it seemed to take them a little off guard. They didn't seem to have as well considered answer to that. So I don't know why, but maybe we'll learn.
K5 when I was there in school.
This new building anyway, right? So
Is Hoover or whatever that's called now, is it K8?
That's Catherine
When they
Jones
built that?
Harrison.
No, I don't. Is it? I don't think.
it was originally longer, way back. That's an old one.
I do know that the reason, the speculation, I don't know the reason because I'm not on the Corvallis admin team, but the speculation is that they weren't putting Catherine Jones Harrison up for closure because they have a very specific and robust special education facility there. So they have different classrooms, they have different bathrooms. They have
Which one?
Catherine Jones Harrison.
That Hoover, Jeff.
Hoover.
That's
Old
Hoover.
Hoover.
Harrison, or no, I'm not Walnut.
The special ed kids are at Hoover? Or, I don't know.
They've got the really,
It's
the newer updated life support.
45 years.
Yeah, right.
I don't switch over
I grew up in
that
Corvallis.
fast.
I totally get it.
Yeah. You could be the interpreter.
I thought they
I
were
like
at
the
Jefferson.
He said fair play. Oh yeah, fair play. That was a long time ago.
They've always been at Jefferson.
All right, I'm
That's
reeling
what
us
I
in.
All right.
Reeling us
So,
in.
okay, I'll wrap it up.
Always count on Jackie.
Got a lot
So
of
Sarah,
really
I
good
actually
verbatims.
boiled this down with AI for the narrative because I wanted to maintain anonymity for
Thank
folks
you.
who did do
I
comments.
was
So
just thinking the same
yeah,
thing. Maybe
I
should
dumped
have
them
done
all into AI and I said amalgamate this and come up with bullet points. So I'm not going to read like a bunch of comments, but we got really, really good comments and thank everybody. I'm looking around like everyone who filled it out is here, but thank you if you filled out the survey and you're listening. So number one, there was pretty strong support for adding a 6th grade for us. It was the most frequent theme that came up. Many parents would like us to look into this. The key points expressed, kids want to stay here as long as possible. Parents seem to agree. Avoiding multiple school transitions, which would be pretty messy. Parents are a critical factor. Was stated that if we didn't have a 6th grade, it would be difficult to consider sending their kid here because they wouldn't know what to do. And some parents said that if some parents explicitly said if Muddy Creek adds 6th, we stay. If not, we must leave. So that came up multiple times. So it's something we need to look at.
Which makes sense.
I mean,
And I think that comment they alluded to that it didn't feel like they were in 5th grade now. It
No.
felt like they were younger
Yes.
grade.
Yeah.
So that they would maybe
they would
hasten
plan
their
to
exit
move.
Because they don't want
for the transition.
1 year at some elementary.
Now, a few thought we might want to consider adding a 7th and an 8th grade as well. So
Throwing this big
One step at a time.
I thought that was-
One step at a time.
I actually would love that as well. And then there were some concerns about if we don't align with Corvallis School District, since a large majority of our kids are coming from out of Corvallis, not all of them certainly, but many of them, that this non-alignment would be a problem. Without adding a sixth, we would potentially become uncompetitive. Families zoned in dual immersion schools like Garfield may not have viable sixth grade options if we don't offer it, which I'm sure Corvallis School District is looking at that as well, but it is a concern. And then I do want to say there were some folks that were concerned about the idea of adding sixth grade. There were multiple comments: do not cut or shrink the art program. It's essential for our school's identity. Please avoid doing art on a cart. Parents support expansion only if it does not compromise the existing strengths: art, music, class size, and place-based learning. So I think I understand that perspective and I share it. And then for the blended grades, like doing a split grade, there were some mixed thoughts on that. Some parents have had positive experiences with blended classes. A few different ideas were proposed, maybe a first-second blend, maybe a fifth-sixth. Again, these are just parents' ideas, things for us to think about. Parents said that we should try and maintain reasonable class sizes, and that if we did do blended classes, teachers would need strong support. And one parent asked directly, can you tell us more about what a blended class would look like? So if that becomes something we decide to discuss, we should be clear about it. And then I'll just, because AI put it in here, I'll mention it. Many expressed appreciation for the school and said that we do a terrific job and they love sending their kids here. There were many comments like that, so I just want to point that out. So Patrick, with that, I prepare you well for your.
I have a couple of things first.
Sure.
I'm curious if people bringing up first, second versus fifth, sixth, is there any science, any studies, if you're doing a blended classroom, what grades are best for that? I hear that a lot of what's done in second grade is very similar to what's first grade, and you're kind of doing the same concepts but building them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think if we want to give parents some insight, we have someone with experience in a blended classroom that could maybe put together a blurb for parents what a blended classroom looks like. And on a side note, my child says that Ms. Karen is the best art teacher in the history of time.
Well,
As do both of mine.
so
Yes.
yes, I think if whatever direction we go, we will definitely want to provide families with a lot more information than we've already given them. And in addition to Karen having a very devoted fan base, she, I think she's had a little higher anxiety since this conversation started, because a lot of the conversation is around where would you put sixth grade, right? And then immediately everybody's like, the art room. And then they're like, oh no, we can't do that. And so like, everybody stop talking about the art room. Karen's gonna run out of the building crying every day. So anyway, we will cross bridges when we get to bridges, but I think that's reflected in the comments that people are hearing that and saying that, and of course we will keep that heavily in mind.
We did do blended classes, and it's been, when Brian Traylor was here, maybe his
It
second
was
year.
Been
COVID.
6 years of the year.
It was the COVID year was the
But
last year
It
we
was
did it.
a little different than, like in town, we did K, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm.
It got with the numbers, which we didn't have big enough classes, because then you'd have, on the 1, 2, you might only have 2 second graders in that class. And then it just, the number game, it was causing the issues, because if the classrooms are pretty balanced, each have 28, then you can pretty do it. But when they were so small, it didn't work very well.
My son did first grade as as a standalone,
Yes.
and then it was 2, 3, 4, 5. But 2, 3 was COVID year, and then it went away.
So I think to just really broadly answer your question, Jackie, blends can happen at any level and any combination. Often
Oh, they can, but has anybody looked at
Not-
where it's
Where
more
we're
effective?
effective? Yeah,
I have not.
Developmentally, I think it's a good question.
yeah.
But I think it is done in almost exclusively in cases where you have Not enough students or not enough teachers.
Right.
It is not, I don't know that anybody thinks it is the very best pedagogy. But it is a way that things can be solved, problems can be solved. And it's not bad, it's just maybe not ideal. It represents a great deal of additional work and challenge for teachers. And a little bit less instructional minutes for students. And you've heard my lecture, but yeah, if that's a road we go down, we will have to get to the bottom of that question, but we don't have it right now.
We'll say that Muddy Creek was, correct me if I'm wrong, but this was one of the few places where it was actually, that was the point of it.
Yeah.
In part. It was the 3 stools, it was place-based, project-based, blended classrooms. That's why we're building a school. It was how it was described to me. I never experienced it, but
It was, I mean, and a lot of parents were upset when we changed, but the number game is what convinced us that it wasn't blended anymore. You just had 2 extra kids stuck in. And then you always have the question, do you alternate curriculum?
Yeah.
Because curriculum for 5th grade social studies isn't the same as a 4th grade curriculum. And do you do 1 year 4th, 1 year 5th, or expect the teacher to stay? There's a lot to be studied if you are going to do it and do it well.
Well, and I would want to hear from the teachers, obviously. You know, I would want to hear from the teachers, and this is all just exploratory. No one's offering.
when we went away from that, it was because the teachers were like, we can't handle 2 standards, 2 curriculums.
Yes.
With
The
kids,
teachers
with
are
COVID,
ones that
and
I
so
could see that
that
being
was their
difficult.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also looking at this. If we kept the same,
I
if
think
we
we should
kept
not
these
problem
numbers,
solve right now, though, because that might be getting a cart before the horse.
okay. Circling back,
You had something you wanted to share,
I
I
did.
think.
I want to move.
Let's move.
Let's move this. Okay, so which we do not have to vote immediately. We can go ahead and have discussion, but I want to put this on the table so we can go ahead and have a clear path for the discussion. I move that the board investigates the feasibility of adding a 6th grade to Muddy Creek. Initial steps to include opening dialogue with CSD to amend our charter contract for grades and student count, confirming building capacity, and forming an ED committee to determine the logistics of such a plan, with the ED committee reporting back in the December meeting.
Second, putting back in December.
That seems fast.
So we need to move fast on this.
I
think
do
you're
not
right.
think that is realistic, however.
So even
I
like
can report back, but we won't have recommendation
fair.
in December.
Like,
An initial.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
An
can,
initial.
that's I feel like
check-ins, totally reasonable.
yeah, check-ins. I'm not expecting to have
A plan.
a firm contract change with CSD. Like, I mean, Melissa could come back and say, no, it's a non-starter, and that's it.
I just want to clarify
So-
the expectation there.
But I feel like it needs to be something, the community needs to know that we're taking it very seriously and it is top of mind. And also, if we're going to have a plan in place for parents to feel comfortable sending their kindergartners here before our lottery starts, we need to have check-ins probably on a monthly basis.
I agree with that.
More discussion. I think the student count is fairly fixed, unless you want to go smaller.
So right now we're at 130. I feel like we have a case to say that we would like to increase that student capacity to 140, 145.
And you lose the rural school
At
money, though.
Yeah, 140, we lose the rural school.
Then
However, if we have
probably have to
140,
go to
maybe we don't need the rural school, but I
50 or
don't.
something, then you get space problems, so it's tricky.
So-
Anyway,
and that if we lose it at 140, then increase capacity to 139.
Yep.
That money is too valuable to go ahead and lose.
Yes.
And that's if building capacity allows it, kind of thing. I mean, at our current numbers, we wouldn't need to worry about it.
But it's nice to have the extra space to grow as much as we can.
with a big kindergarten class, you might.
And
I'd love to see this be a waitlist school.
Yeah.
That's why I'd like to see this be a waitlist school again. That's why we started in first grade, not kindergarten.
I love that.
So, questions, thoughts, fears, concerns, confessions.
So is
Many
you
fears.
thinking of
We're already in this.
a principal committee? Is that what you're proposing?
I think a principal
seems to make sense to
committee
me.
would be better than doing a board committee. It just makes more sense
Be
doing
more
that.
nimble.
So for people to be aware, the difference between a board committee and an executive director committee, Sarah can form we can empower Sarah to form an executive director committee, and they're able to go ahead and meet on their own schedule and just go ahead and report back. A board committee has to be comprised with board members, and we've got to follow public meeting law, like public meeting rules and everything else. So it just becomes a lot more cumbersome and a lot harder to go ahead and move at an urgent pace.
Yeah.
And just for clarity, we can't talk about this outside of this meeting. So this is kind of the initial discussion we're all having together. So you think we've been scheming up brilliant plans here on our own together? That's not the case. So it's the law, not because we're lazy. So
I'm going
okay.
to call the question.
What is it?
I'm going to call the question.
Your power as vice president, I guess.
Anybody can call the question.
Call the question.
I'm
You're
calling
calling
the
it?
question. Yeah.
When? Tell me.
No, right now, I think we should vote about forming the committee. I don't know that we need
I
to
agree.
discuss that more.
Yeah. I'm set.
I agree.
Yeah, very good. Maybe,
Yeah. What are we waiting for?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
I'm very excited to hear what comes of that. Last time's a Muddy Creek.
Patrick, calling the question is a means of moving the meeting forward.
It's a very Jackie move.
Yes.
Well, it's better than giving her a buzzer.
I'd like that.
I know.
Airborne?
Okay.
All right, very good.
All right. Board business. We got policy reviews, BBA, BBAA, BBF, BBFA, and good old BBFB.
Sounds like garbly.
You know, it's a little light reading for you. One of you guys has that packet. Okay, so these were in months past. We talked about giving the board a little bit of light reading. A few policies here and there once a month, and I'm 2 months behind, but I sent those. That's just sort of the. I'll show everybody where I got them. So on our website under ICP board, and it's policies and procedures. And so all of our beautiful new policies are here. And they're bite-sized chunks, most of them. And I started with board powers and duties. These are kind of procedural up above it. And these are more like, what are y'all here to do? And what can you do? What can't you do? It kind of goes down. I don't want to give you too many. But of course, these are public and you already have read them, presumably. And but when it comes in a package of 800 pages, it's a little hard to like remember every single thing that was in it. So what did you guys think of that process? Were you able to find time to read through them and commit them to memory? Recite them as a
I was
poem?
just gonna say, reading them, and don't give me a written test on it. I wouldn't.
You know what's funny though, is I'll read one and then I'll like space half of the information. So I just really love having it this way on the website, because I'm like, at least I know there is a policy that does talk about this, and then I can go back and like check myself.
Correct.
So I heard that Karen read them. I won't call anybody out, Teacher Danforth, but anyway, I would really love it if you guys could find time just to go through and at your leisure, maybe on the weekend if you're in the car or whatever. Just it's only a few minutes.
Read them in the
They're
car.
not
I'm
that
gonna read them to
You
Ryan
don't ride
tonight.
with other people in the
for
car.
bedtime
Okay.
story.
Maybe that's just me.
Do you have them on audiobook for us?
No, I'd be happy to read them to you. I thought about doing that, but I thought it seemed too shameful. Okay, so I'm gonna send the next few. You know, I don't really think we have too many issues with these, but I kind of added them as an afterthought. But if you have to make a choice, I would start with those three.
Yes.
And then we'll go on to, because you already had your training on mandatory reporting, so I was gonna go on to procedural stuff.
Did we get that information to Derek, that board training director stuff?
Oh, I do need to do
We
that.
should do that.
Yeah, I
I
think
haven't gotten it yet. I mean, I am a mandatory reporter by nature anyways.
There's some vector training just on board related stuff that's helpful. And then what's the
Sure.
video that we can
that's what
watch
it was for
on
the OSBA one
the
that I
OSBA
keep
video?
forgetting about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple things we'll send to you and others.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, so that was that.
I don't remember when the year cycles starts.
Well, and that kind of dovetails into the
Is it
next.
December?
Is it the next one that I was?
January, or is it
What's next on my
August? I don't know.
handbook development? Okay, thank you for the segue. So I was making a handbook well, I've already made one for staff. I've made one for students and families. I'm developing one for myself, and I don't know if it's just me being too nerdy. And yes, I love AI for muskrats, but I thought it might be helpful for you guys to also have a handbook, because some of the things that were procedural that were documented in the old policies have since been removed, and then most of them were so old too. Like and nobody was really doing it. So some of the specific concerns that I've heard from various board members are that, like, it's hard to spin up as a board member. Like, when you join the board, there's so much information. It's just, if you just have to hear it, or you have to kind of on the job training. And if anybody ever wants to try and escape the board, there's not really a clear way to do that either, because then you have all the information and you feel guilty about, like, transferring the information. So anyway, I put this little, I don't know, outline together, and I want to share it with you guys. I shared it with Lester already, but just thinking about some of this information already exists, and I can just copy and paste it from other existing documents or some of the older ones. But I really would love to challenge you guys to have 10 or 15 minutes at every board meeting. Our board meetings are sort of more structured now, and we have a little space. I'd like to spend 15, 20 minutes in every board meeting just selecting a chunk of this, reviewing, amending, and getting all of that tribal knowledge from you, document it so that it's available to others if they're interested in joining the board, or just curious about how our board. It wouldn't hurt our audit status either to have something that's a little codified. All of these things are real things that happen. The only thing that I added as kind of aspirational, Dear Santa, was this. So you have a few officer roles, right? President, Vice President, Treasurer, Secretary. I would love to see you guys decide on additional roles for other board members. So the ones that I came up with were somebody who is either monitoring PR or writing press releases for cool things that are happening. Then somebody who's checking on policies to see what the updates are. Somebody who gets the newsletter, can read the newsletter and make recommendations for updates. And maybe somebody who's a moderator. It's nice when, like today, when you were like, let's keep this party going. Maybe who's just somebody whose responsibility is to make sure that we're keeping on time and everybody's being heard or whatever. And you guys probably have other ideas, but that was one of the things that I thought we could do to improve. And give people something to do. Like, there's only a few roles. See, I got it in here. I just didn't actually send it to them.
There it is.
Right.
Yeah, wonderful.
So what are your thoughts on that? If I give you all the information I can already find as a straw man, could you agree to dedicate some time to polishing it up? Thank you.
Pretty good. Thank you. Right.
Did we get to vote on it tonight?
Yeah. So we got. Let's do Brooke here, and then we'll talk about winter training. So everybody get Brooke's application. Thank you.
It's in your packet too.
It's in here on the table.
Not able. Okay.
Brooke, you want to tell us about yourself?
Sure. Hi, guys. Brooke Castle, and I'm a mom of a first grader, Elkie, who's here. This is our first year here, and we absolutely love it. So, my background is I have a doctorate in environmental science, landscape ecology, wildfire ecology, and I work as a scientific editor. So I do a lot of work with scientific publishing. I do academic coaching, so I work with a lot of academic adjacent things. And I used to work in policy for the Federal Aviation Administration, so I have some background in policy and federal stuff, federal HR stuff. And so my real passion and reason for wanting to join the board is just that I'm really interested in what the school does with holistic education and not so much technology and focus on one aspect of the student, but a focus on the whole student and the individual. And we came from a Montessori background, and this idea that each child has a specific path and is a unique person who should be guided toward independence and independent thought and being a leader in their community, and that being involved in their community is really, really important. So the vision of Muddy Creek really speaks to our family and speaks to me personally, and so I really want to just participate and support that and help this school to grow and thrive. Yeah.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for Brooke?
When can we start?
You want to be president?
Yeah.
Treasurer? I move that we approve Brooke Castle's application as a board member.
Second.
I say, Larry else.
Oh, Jackie.
Oh, jinx.
Glad you got there a little bit ahead.
Yeah. She's fast. She's fast.
You out there, Jamie?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry. 5. And do we have her application that was sent to us?
Yes. Yeah. I think so.
I got it.
Derek, how'd you vote?
Derek?
5.
Well, her side.
Affirmative. 5.
I did have one more thing for board business.
Oh, good.
Welcome.
Bring a chair over here if you want. Come on in.
Good, well, have a pizza.
This is a volunteer.
It's board pizza.
We don't always have pizza. Jackie just spoiled
Jackie
us.
spoiled
It's
us
Friday
today,
night.
yeah.
Just a reminder to anybody who might be listening, this is a volunteer board, and everybody's here on just working away for the good of the cause and for no other reason.
Removing age
love,
and
man.
gender question.
We really appreciate folks joining. Derek?
I'm gonna start
Patrick
that.
said
I'm
he
gonna
had
start
one
that.
more thing.
I
I'm
do.
wrapping up, but he has one more.
So after seeing Derek and Brooke's applications, I move that the board remove the age and gender questions from the board application questionnaire, as they don't have relevance to the applicant's skill set and could be viewed as violations of protected classes.
Second.
I
She has
was,
beaten me every time.
I
Alright.
don't remember filling that out.
I don't think I filled it out.
You.
I mean, I'm not that I went, oh, I'm not filling it out. I just don't remember it being a
Everybody filled
question.
it out. I don't remember the
It's
question.
weird.
I think most people just skip them.
It's totally
Yeah.
weird. I might have.
And so I know you still have to vote, but I would propose that we redo that entire thing because that is from the old
That's all.
stuff.
Yeah.
And I think, I believe the whole thing needs to bring up. So maybe we.
We can
include that in
start
the-
with that.
Well,
now.
I can, well, kind of, because I don't have it in an editable format.
How about a draft,
but
a
I can
draft
draft.
version of a new application in the next meeting or so? We can say yay or nay or
That sounds
Who's
Yeah,
drafting it?
Sarah and I can work on that together.
Okay.
If you need it digitized, let me know. I can make it digital.
Wonderful. Okay. All right. Anything else on that?
So instead of approving that, Sarah and Lester are gonna.
I think we can
draft a new
approve it and
application.
We can
then,
approve it and include
and
it
then
in
we'll scrap the whole thing next.
Okay, I'm assuming no one wants to go and violate protected classes. We can say unanimous.
Unanimous.
Okay. So we've got
I
we're,
was really young when I started.
yeah. Yeah, right. So thanks for reaching out to Kristen. She had a few dates in there.
For training.
For our training. The trainings are super valuable. We kind of learned what the laws are and how to operate a little bit smoother than we do in the last meeting. Every training we've ever done, we've come out better for it. So at least that's my opinion. So
Get out the calendars. Karen's just available whenever. Sign her up. She's only been to 20 of these. I know I made an assumption that a Saturday morning would be a more preferred.
I
Than
prefer
an
a weekend
evening.
for sure.
But if, yeah, okay. I was gonna say, but if I'm wrong, then we can ask her for different days. These should be all weekends. So January 10th is Saturday.
I know I can't do that date.
Okay.
I know I haven't found all my stuff. I know I can't do that one.
Okay. 31st is another Saturday.
No.
What was that, Jamie?
Did someone say no?
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
I'm around the 1st to the 7th-ish or so. But other than that, I'll fix it. I think everything works for me. Hopefully, they can make
February
it work.
8th is a Sunday.
Yeah.
I think you meant 7th.
I said weekend.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't notice that it was a Sunday, but I think that was the option.
January 10th. How's that sound?
January 10th was an
That's a no.
That's
for
out
me.
for Jackie.
That's a hard no.
So that one's no for sure.
I have resident interviews.
What's everybody doing on January 10th?
I can do any of the February dates.
Me too.
How about February 21st?
I don't really care. I'm
Oh.
just gonna,
Yeah.
I am out all of February, so I can't make all of February dates because I will be flying out to campus. So I'll be gone for 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, you've done a bunch of trainings. So if you miss it, it's not the end of the world. Maybe it is. I don't know. How do you feel, Jamie?
What are we discussing this next training?
There's a few things on the topic, but when we've discussed it with Kristen before, there's kind of a progression of needs. The first one was like, what are you guys doing out there? And then it was like, after COVID. And then it was, oh, your policies are a mess. Let's talk about policy.
Yep.
And the last one was kind of ED, working with the ED in the school and the public. And I think there's probably some more along that line. Do you know specifically of what that?
And then we were talking about like whose lanes are whose, and then just general board education because we have new members and she
Public
does
meeting
all the
laws and
scenarios
that
and
sort of
yeah, meeting laws.
Okay, well, you guys all make the choice. I'm definitely
31st. If it was the
Yeah.
31st, Jamie, does that work? It's a little tight for me, but I'll figure it out.
I just have to figure out childcare, and I think it could work from like a 9 to 12. Is that what our plan is?
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. 31st.
I can do the 31st of January.
Patrick?
I should be able to count now, so.
Looks good.
You're not right.
So let's do that. And Derek, you said yes or no? We didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm available on the 31st. Yes.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Flying away.
Yeah, the show.
Great.
Okay. All
So
right.
what did we decide?
So January
I'll send you a
31st.
meeting invite. Oh, well, I'll very after.
Okay.
We were here before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about doing it other places, but would probably just be here again.
It's more convenient.
Yeah.
We do break out the good chairs though, so you don't have to sit on the stool.
And I'll bring some snacks.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else that we're missing?
Great meeting,
All
guys.
right. Thank you. Let's call it at 8:29. Thanks to Jackie.
Let's
You know,
send the CSD
when did they
CSD
convene
meeting,
yesterday? It
jealous.
was, I know, I was gonna say, I'm gonna send,
12:45.
close time.
Was it
No, I think it was like
12:45?
1:30 by the
No,
time
they
they were
did.
totally done.
So 12:45 is when they voted on that. They had other stuff to do.
Okay, I guess we're out of here. Bye, Derek.
I guess we're adjourned.
Yes. That was
Okay,
fun.
it was a little abrupt, but I'll take it.
All right. Have a good
Have a
night and
good
a good
night.
weekend. Bye.
You too. Bye.